Hi everyone, welcome back to Wrestling Fun with Father and Son. I'm Father Matt, and this is Son. Smackdown this week saw Kofi Kingston stand up for Roman Reigns, the Miz's daughter got a new doll, and the big dog gets unchained. This is the Out of the Blue Smackdown review. Smackdown 13th of the 12th, 2019. Friday the 13th, Kai. Probably unlucky for some on Smackdown this week. Started off with King Corbin coming out, being carried by obviously his carriers and that. Ziggler was already in the ring. They had a bit of a promo where they referenced last week's actions where they dumped dog food on Roman Reigns. They said that about Corbin, how he had like a really good year, which I can't argue with him. He has actually had a really good year. He's sort of, from where he was at the beginning of the year to now, he's sort of grown in character. And I think it's I think, you know, at the beginning of the year I said I didn't like Corbin. I still don't particularly like Corbin, but his promos are growing and he is getting better on that microphone. And yeah, he is. The people do really just despise him, and I think he's done a really good job with that. And then they were saying about how the big dog is unchained, and we saw threads of that through the show, and we'll get to that in a minute. Only for then the New Day to come out and basically that Corbin looks stupid. That was kind of the gist of the promo, is how Corbin wears a crown. It's the same stuff that Roman Reigns has been saying, to be fair, that Corbin looks stupid in his crown and that he's not a true king. The same things as Roman says. They were saying he was being disrespectful to Roman Reigns for dumping the dog food, and then basically there was a slap to Corbin, and then a match was officially made. Then we went backstage and saw Corbin and Ziggler walk into their locker room, only for their sort of carriers to be laid out all over the sort of the room and that. We saw that a few times. Well, that's what was to think. Obviously, it was Roman Reigns. He'd taken them all out. There was a couple of times where we saw this. There was also with his like sort of carry thing, like his throne that he gets carried in, but that got destroyed and that later on in the show, another backstage sequence. So yeah, so obviously we're supposed to think that Roman Reigns done it. Next we had Fire and Desire. They were already sort of in the ring. They would cut to backstage where Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross were given an interview, only for them Fire and Desire to leave the ring, come through to the backstage and attack them. They had a very, very quick match, which Bliss and Cross won. Then backstage we saw Sami Zayn walking. He then bumped into Heavy Machinery, who were his Secret Santa, or Otis was his Secret Santa. He bought him a ham, Kai. But Zayn, he is a vegan, so not a very good present for him. Only for then there to be some insults. The ham ended up on the floor, and the match was made between Cesaro and Shinsuke for later on. Then we had Gable and Ali versus the Revival. There was a very funny spot at the beginning of this with Dash Wilder where he trips over and tried to make out I did that on purpose. No, you actually you embarrassed yourself there a bit. But it was quite funny. Again, Revival, easy win. Then we had Bayley being interviewed, only to be interrupted by Elias, who informed her that he was her Secret Santa and that he had a song. Obviously, like one of his sort of jokey insult songs. Dana Brooks with him as always. Bayley says, "What are you laughing at? Let's have a match." As they always do, that's how they make matches. You laugh at someone and the match is made, Kai. So they had a match, Dana versus Bayley. A very quick win for Bayley. Moving on. Next it was The Miz at his home, being interviewed by Renee Young. There was a really weird bit at the beginning of this where they were talking about Daniel Bryan. Have you seen Daniel Bryan? No, I haven't. About your history with Daniel Bryan. I don't really understand why they kind of brought up Daniel Bryan and The Miz, because to be fair, the big issue is The Fiend and Bray Wyatt. That's really the big issue. I can't understand why, if you're going to have an interview with The Miz, why you just don't say about Bray Wyatt straight off and say, aren't you worried? Anyway, the Miz was saying about mind games, about how Bray Wyatt and Fiend like to play mind games, only for then Maurice to interrupt the interview by shouting for The Miz. She had like a tablet which had like a baby camera on it, and what was happening? What was Miz's daughter doing? Playing with
Bray's puppets.
Yeah, the puppets were in the crib, only for then the Fireflies Funhouse to sort of flick onto the monitor. Flicks back and she's got all the puppets in there. The Miz and Maurice then run up to the stairs into her room, only to find what? What did she have?
A Fiend doll.
Yep, it was like a little girl's doll with a Fiend painted mask on it, which looked very cool. They're going to merchandise that. I can see they're going to be selling them because they sell everything. And then next we then got the Fireflies Funhouse, where he did have that doll, and he said it's about holiday spirit and all this, that, and the other. That the Miz had been too busy exposing Daniel Bryan. He in turn exposed himself, and then that was kind of the end of it. To be fair, it wasn't that great a Fireflies Funhouse in my opinion. The doll looks really cool though. Next, Heavy Machinery took on Shinsuke and Cesaro. Again, a Sami Zayn distraction that caused Heavy Machinery to lose. Then we had Kofi versus Corbin. You had some of the carriers around the ringside. You had Ziggler there. You had Big E there. This descended into chaos. It was a DQ finish. There's a big massive brawl, only for them to be New Day versus Corbin and Ziggler. Again, this ended up in another DQ finish because Ziggler got some cuffs from under the ring. Corbin put the cuffs on Kofi. That in turn gave the DQ. He put him on the ring post again. He tagged him with the scepter. Then he got some dog food. Only for then the Revival to sort of appear, take out Big E. It looked like he was about to dump the dog food on Kofi, only for Roman Reigns to come out. He took out the carriers, he took out the Revival, he took out Ziggler, only for then Corbin to attack him from behind. But then Reigns was able to overthrow him. Got the dog food and the scepter. It looked like he was going to dump the dog food, only for then Dolph Ziggler to super kick him, set him up on the announcer's desk, get a ladder. It looked like he was about to jump through the ladder, only for Reigns to then jump up onto the ladder.
Through the announce table.
Yeah, through the announce table, that's it. And then Corbin basically was backing up to the ramp, and that was kind of it with Roman Reigns in the ring, and he helped Kofi down. And that was kind of how they ended. So it was strong.
I bet TLC Reigns could actually hit Corbin's scepter.
He probably will. He'd probably put dog food on him as well at TLC. We also found out that the New Day versus the Revival is a ladder match now as well. I haven't mentioned that. It's now a ladder match. We have done a predictions. We kind of done it in the Raw review, the Rawsome review. It's at the end of that, so I'll put the video at the end of this video. So if you want to see our predictions, they'll be in that. So yeah, go home show before TLC. Don't think it was that strong a finish, to be fair, going into the pay-per-view, but it is what it is. Again, it was an okay. Yes, as we're recording this, TLC is tonight. So we'll have to see. The Raw reactions will be out on Wednesday, possibly Wednesday. I'll say Wednesday, but it could possibly be before that. I just doesn't. It's weird how the schedule goes. Might be able to fit it in before then, might not. But at the minute, it's penciled in for Wednesday with the Rawsome review. Yep. So yeah, it was an okay episode of Smackdown going forward. So if you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see you on Wednesday for the reactions and the Rawsome review. So I'll say goodbye and say goodbye, Kai.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.